what are we going to be chatting about today?
This is a question that comes up constantly. Dr. Gilda, what are you doing as spokesperson for the International Council for Men and Boys? Well, I'll tell you that. I was engaged to a man. He had 2 children. His divorce had been over 3 years earlier. And I assumed that he was all over the heartache and the grieving. And we had issues with the kids. One kid loved me, one kid hated me. I mean, they were kids. So you never know. Well, we lived in New York.
Mm-hmm.
She lived in Ohio with the kids.
Okay.
And as customary, we would travel. I didn't want to travel, but he asked me, please come with me for these visitations. I said, okay. I mean, I love this guy. And I thought, okay, fine. Just as she had done throughout all of the 3 years that they were divorced. We met her at a McDonald's and she did not appear. We had taken planes, gotten there on time, and she was having shenanigans constantly with those kids and with him, but particularly on this day. And I couldn't believe, my stomach was in knots, and he was so upset. And I sat by the McDonald's on the corner where nobody could see me, and I crouched down and cried. And I said, what am I doing in this crazy relationship? I love him. The children, we will get through that. But to see my man so twisted around this woman's finger when she didn't show up after it took us everything to get out there early morning to see those kids was horrendous. And so when I wrote the book, Real Men Don't Go Woke, and then I met the guys from the International Council of Men and Boys, and they asked me to be spokesperson, I told them happily, because in the back of my mind was that experience that I had, having nothing to do with this guy's divorce, having nothing to do with knowing this ex-wife, knowing the children in advance. I met him way after that. And I saw how much suffering I was going through as the innocent party. And I made sure that I would be spokesperson to prevent another woman from going through that in the future. And that's my story.
All right. That is a great GildaGram. And I would love to speak out, but I'm going to let her words speak for amen. It's true. And it's sad. And I don't know if you can ever change this, because I hope you can, because women feel, because they're mothers, that if you go after and take down a woman, a woman who's scorned, and they somehow have this belief system, they want everything because they've lost their meal ticket, their unbelievable lifestyle, they're going to burn the whole place down just because they want that other person to suffer, and anyone who's in their lives suffer.
Neil, this is my cry to everybody out there who has gone through and is going through and is continuing to go through a divorce. You are affecting the children negatively if you are not acting well and your behavior is not respectful, because the children pick up on this. And you might not see the damage you're doing right at the time that you're doing it, but I guarantee years later, the children are very damaged. Not even mentioning the woman, the new woman who comes into a healthy man's life. A new woman, let's start anew. And she then is blamed. She then is put down. She then suffers from all of this.
All right.
You
So
know,
I totally agree with you.
before women think that they ought to take it out on their ex-husbands, consider the other people around them. But also, you know who I am. I consider karma because it always gets them. And karma's a lot bitchier than I am.
Well, the best thing as is to it's life, and that's where life is tough, and that's why you can at least try to make changes so women understand if you really care for the children, you make sure that they have a relationship with their father and that their father is not considered an enemy of the state. That's it. All right, that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show.